Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. Have not done an Ask Me Anything in really a long time. I think it's actually been months, probably been the longest time since I started doing this again that I've done an Ask Me Anything. And there's probably a lot of reasons for that. Number one, we've been booted off of YouTube so many times during this time of unprecedented censorship. We kind of went over that with John Fitch. 4 times we've had the channel taken, and we're not talking about strikes. The channel's been taken down. And every time I've battled it and I've gotten it back, but that should let you know that we are unfairly targeted. And that's because the information we talk about here is accurate. And I want to make it very clear from the get-go here, as we start this is not about red and blue. This is not about Democrats and Republicans. This is about a corrupt system that for a long time has used the provocation of agents and assets to set up the American people. Okay? And that's why I'm giving huge props to the DailyMail, and I have in the past. A lot of people like to, take massive dumps all over the DailyMail for their tabloid style, and I'll admit, their tabloid style at times can be off-putting. But number one, they are a great aggregate for information. Number two, you are not seeing this in the United States, and the truth is the DailyMail gets way more traffic, especially globally, than a lot of the chump MSN media here in the United States, on all sides, okay, on all sides. And I understand that people like Tucker Carlson have covered this, and good for him, but the reason that this is important is because you can see that Epps is A-okay, fine. Epps is barely scratching the surface of the type of agents and provocateurs that were brought in aside from the activists, all right? Because there's a whole nother aspect of this where you have what were high-level activists for, say, Antifa or Black Lives Matter, and that's just a fact. I'm not trying to demonize all aspects and everybody who's a part of those organizations, but at the upper echelons, working with intelligence as assets, right? Same thing we saw with the Proud Boys, right? Okay? And the fact of the matter is that those people then get their little minions to get involved in this, and which we saw. That's one small aspect. Then you have people like Epps who are literally directing the narrative to go into the Capitol for days, being called out as a Fed, all right, federal agent or asset, whatever, in public, and then continuing to do so and under no charges. He's nothing compared to, say, for instance, we got on video while I was up on the second level, right? I can go cover it like a journalist, not wearing a MAGA hat, not shouting slogans, right next to, AP reporters and Getty Images and all those people. You see a sledgehammer go up, and then they hand it over to the police. Now, obviously, the people who were upset about that, and were passing up the sledgehammer, they seem to be in league with the feds. Some of the people that climbed and moved in formation and fought the police, they seem to be in league with the feds. And we still don't have that documentation. Meanwhile, right, we do have a Justice Department that even under the Trump administration, all right, I want people to understand that the Trumpster was in on this as well. Even under the Trump administration, you had documents like National Counterintelligence Strategy of the United States of America 2020 to 2022, right? We're just getting into 2022 now. And this was going after ideologically motivated individuals, public disclosure organizations. Let's bring that right up. Again, the censorship is right here. Here it is. hackers and public disclosure organizations. Oh, and later on, they're like Al-Qaeda. They're like ISIS. They're like China. We see what's happening to Assange. Okay, they're like Hezbollah. You see, they actually say leaktivists, hacktivists, and public disclosure organizations pose significant threats. And they put you in league with the terrorists. And that's what Homeland Security always was. That's what signature reduction is. Right? That's the truth of the matter, guys. So when the Daily Mail comes out and they make this their main story, that's a big deal. The entire rest of the media, aside from maybe some at Fox, are going to totally and completely ignore this and continue with this imagination land narrative that an insurrection occurred. You know, sometimes you hear riot. I'll give it riot at some level somewhere. Like, again, the destruction of property, I don't like at all. I don't like fighting police. It doesn't play into anyone's hands. I don't like going into the Capitol. I've said this from the very beginning. If these people went there and said, we're staying nonviolently, civil disobedience, right, until we get a fair audit, a hand-by-hand count audit of every vote, I'd be with that. Why wouldn't you? That's true, quote-unquote, democracy in action. That's the will of the people, okay? That's the constitutional republic we all need. That's a real redress of grievances, but no, instead, I have to watch jackasses on Twitter talk about election denialism. Election denialism, right? I remember I had to be called the 9/11 denier for years and years and years, and some people, even a decade plus later, would still say that to me, 9/11 denier. Oh, you like that, right? As if we're denying these things happened. No. We're in a place called reality. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take your questions and comments, get them in right now. We're going to go down the line. I want to know how you feel about this scam January 6th thing. If you realize that this is the setup for the idea. I mean, when Kamala Embarrass gets up there and starts talking about how democracy itself, that it's not 9/11 anymore. Right? It's not Al-Qaeda. No. It's democracy itself. Well, our quote-unquote democracy, our one person, one vote, our checks and balances have gone by the wayside of the military-industrial complex and this national security state that we've built under globalism and its predator class masters. That's the reality. So before we get there, I need you to thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. If you're new to the channel, guys, we have been trying to build. We're riding dirty with unjust strikes still. I don't even know how I'm here, except for, again, I'm fighting all the time. All the documentary films are free right here in the playlist section. Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, Shade the Motion Picture, Fabled Enemies, and Loose Change, Final Cut. We are backed up over on Odyssey. Want to thank them. But when we are kicked off all the time, and you want to see us uncensored, like yesterday, we had to cut the broadcast. And by the way, that was my bad. If you were watching Mixed Martial Mindset, I got a new speaker, and it shut off on me because it was on a sleep timer. We fixed that. You want to see the uncensored version? It's right there. So, guys, I gotta read this. Why do I have to read this right here? Because I'm trying to expand. And that leads actually really well into the GoFundMe. The GoFundMe, or becoming a premium member over on Rockfin, really does help. You can lock in a year for $99.99 over there. They have a new tenant putting in. Oh, come on. There's a warehouse in Davenport. See, I'm still trying to get a place to continue to build. That's what we want to do. We want to build during this time of censorship. And by the way, Jim Carrison says, welcome to the new American century. Thank you so much, Jim. Vespa also said, Merry Christmas to everybody in the chat. And I had a guest on that was to John. A lot of great people out there. You guys are great. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. All right, let's get into it. Was expecting more people. We're here. I don't know what in the schnuckle fuck is going on. Yeah. I'm only surprised he ever made it on the FBI list. Yeah, no, he probably did in the very beginning. That shouldn't surprise you, because what happens is you probably have a slew of lower level agents that are well-meaning and good, that are amongst the crowds, right? I discussed this again the other day with my brother. There were backpacks upon backpacks upon backpacks, totally unmanned. And yet the night before, they've got somebody releasing pipe bombs throughout the city, and they still don't know who it is. Seems a little odd, right? So I think that he made the list because there were actual good agents there. It was probably pretty easy to look him up because he had been associated with the Oath Keepers before, and they put him on the list, and then he was taken off later. Come on. Good morning from the hellhole I call Australia. Yeah, Australia, man. I can't believe it. It's good to see you. Thank you, DJ. You really are quite the story. What does that mean, Derek? I'm not quite there. Oh, whoa. Jumped a little bit. Do you think Omicron will help stop the variant? I don't even want to discuss it, right? Because what are we going to do? Like, if you look at my, the surge in cases, right? If you look at, like, I guess down in Florida, that's over 1,000%, but then New York, 235%. Iowa's minus 27%. My nieces aren't tortured every day. I went to the recital. I was very happy, except for, seeing some kids still in masks because that's what their parents want. I think 13 out of like 60 kids on stage. That's still way too much for me. It made me kind of ill. But like I said, I live right on the line here. See, whoa, there's a little line, and then you see 100% increase. That would be Illinois, and they have the strictest rules. They're just like New York State, right? They're beholden to Chicago, just like New York State is beholden to New York City. And I mean, I crossed that bridge. Like I said, I couldn't even do my shopping there. So somehow we're much lower, and they've doubled. I mean, again, I'm just going by the numbers. I don't want to give out any misinformation. What has been your biggest surprise of 2021? That's a good question. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Have I ridden into anything surprised other than, the fact that we got a zombie in office, but really that's 2020. That's when that happened, that they said, yeah, we're doing it. I'd always predicted that we would have more death and sickness this year, and that they would admit that. I mean, I got it wrong, right? They had admitted that, I think, sometime in October, and I didn't think it was going to be till November or December. I don't know. There have been a lot of surprises. I don't know that there have been a lot of surprises in my personal life either. My life just keeps moving forward, unfortunately, and I'm doing my best to navigate this whole 1984-esque nightmare. It will never go away, but fortunately, even the original strain was, I don't want to read that because, again, I don't want to be pulled from YouTube. I would be worried about even reading that sentence, right? I'm not saying any of that. I have a man on video from that day who was directing people. It was very suspicious. I got to re-go through my entire walkathon. It's available on Rockfin. You can watch all my footage in the raw. I think it's for premium members. I should pin that where I have shade pin. But, I like having my documentaries pinned up there because they're extremely relevant and they're from the past as well. Watch out for tornadoes. You're in Iowa now. There's some big hype pre-Christmas that we were going to lose power and that some, we had some, things happen in Des Moines. Look, today was the first day we got snow. I had to go out there and shovel for the first time. Otherwise, like on Christmas, like 70 degrees. So I'm from upstate New York, way rougher in that area when it comes to weather than I've experienced, at least here in Iowa. I love Iowa. I love it. What's your prediction on the Ghislaine Maxwell verdict? I don't like it. I actually was on Kristan T. Harris's Rundown live with Don Jr. there. Not Don, you know, it's not the Don Jr., of course. And we were talking basically the fact that it looks like she's probably going to get off, or it's going to be a slap on the wrist sentence. I was talking about how Nygaard and Jean-Luc Brunel are still in custody, how they basically exonerated Les Wexner. This has set a bad precedent, or they give her like a little slap on the wrist sentence. By the way, can we get 200 thumbs up? We don't even have 200 thumbs or 200 people watching, but 200 thumbs up be pretty cool if we could do that. So listen, out of the 39,000 plus, I think it was close to 40,000 videos and photographs there. They showed 40 photographs, and we showed them all here. That doesn't tell you the fix is in? Come on. Give me a break. And you know what? Give Alex Jones credit. He did powerful pieces yesterday on Peter Nygaard. Now, shout out to Big Fish. He sent me some information. And basically, Jones had played a clip of Nygaard talking about how he not only was going to try to live forever or die trying, but stem cell research was really where immortality was at. And there were accusations. There was a story the Big Fish sent me. Basically, people that he had impregnated, he wanted them to abort them for the stem cell research. Yeah. And we talk about baby ranches and how they never even investigated New Mexico. They didn't even investigate New Mexico. Give me a break. It's a bad joke. Like, this should have been the biggest case, but when you got Comey's daughter in there, these people aren't giving up power. They protect their own. We don't have a constitutional republic. We don't have a system of checks and balances. Post-World War II, we instead built a very dangerous and now coming to fruition system of born classified. Okay? Born classified. Outside of the realm of the oversight that is needed to have a trusted and functioning democracy or republic for the people. Judicial, executive, legislative branch. Not anymore. Hey-o. Yeah, we got some corn. There's a lot of that stuff in upstate New York, though, man. Plenty of John Deere. Although John Deere's headquarters is right over the bridge. That's for sure. Let's see. Maria, if someone goes down for Epstein Maxwell, who do you think they would sacrifice? They might sacrifice Maxwell with a 10 or 15-year sentence, right? They might do that with Brunel or Peter Nygaard. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to make a prediction. You know, I didn't think that they were going to put Harvey Weinstein in jail, and they gave him 27 years, and he's got another trial coming, right? Now, they've played down the underage stuff, as they always do, and that's a real thing. But, again, you got to play it. You got to play it by ear. Again, I didn't think, my biggest shock of even 2020, aside from Biden becoming president, was that they picked him. I didn't think there was going to be any way when I started watching those debates, record player and all. We talking about alphabet terrorists. One of the things I talked about on the Rundown Live is this RAND document that I have here. Okay, and it's the Brain-Computer Interfaces, U.S. Military Applications and Implications 2040 document. And what I need people to understand is that, the FDA, it ain't your friend, okay? They're working with the NIH here. Let's go into that. FDA, boom. They're working with DARPA, okay? The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the National Institute of Health, right here. You see it? They're all working together on transhumanism. The NIH allocated $46 million in 2014 and $81.4 million in 2015, reflecting growing interest in the topic. You get it? Overall, DARPA has invested hundreds of millions of dollars transitioning neuroscience into neurotechnology since the early 2000s. This is all just the public stuff. All right? It's here. I mean, we're talking about it. From wearables, non-invasive, to injected nanotech, to brain chips. All here, man. I mean, BCI devices to monitor performance and even emotional spikes related to depression, anxiety, or RAGs are increasingly prevalent in China. Where users include factories, public transport, state-owned companies, and the military. Get those thumbs up. Let's get those thumbs up. If Trump wasn't in on it, he'd be defending these insurgents. Look, man, I don't want Donnie T in 2024. I wasn't, listen, probably, I'll say it again, a gangster, an actor, a misogynist, okay? Totally failed on Assange, totally failed in Syria, totally failed with the people he put close to him like Bolton and Mattis and Barr and Pompeo and Kushner, right? Totally failed. Totally failed in drone bombings. He thought Obama was the drone bombster? No. It was tough guy Trump. It was Mr. We're not going to deal with you, Saudi Arabia. We're going to tell the truth about 9/11. Oh my goodness. And then all of a sudden he cuts a $400+ billion deal with him right when he gets in. All right? All of those things being said, every single one of the things I just said, he's still the best president I ever had in my life. I still have to admit that. And that should tell you how low the bar is, right? By far the best president I've ever seen in my life, right? I'm born in 79, and, I'll be honest, there's no way that I could ever really rightfully judge Jimmy Carter not having lived through it. But I certainly remember the Reagan years. Right? And I know that a lot of people have put him on a pedestal. That's ridiculous. And there were some aspects of Trump that I actually did like, but certainly not enough. And like I said this today on Kristan's show, you've had some Republicans that have gone farther than others, and we cover it. People like Rand Paul, right? People like Ron Johnson. They've done the right thing in many respects, but they haven't gone far enough. And far enough is stuff that we can't do here on YouTube. Okay? Why was the scaffolding there? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. For people to climb. They were getting ready for the induction. That's why the scaffolding officially was there, which makes sense. Police are legalized criminals. Get rid of them with the state. I totally disagree. You do not. If you get rid of quote unquote police officers, and the best and most accountable, in my opinion, police officers would be your sheriff's department. Again, elected officials. All right. Your sheriff is an elected official, somebody that can represent what the community believes, and localized, decentralized government. What are you going to get? You're going to get AI. All right. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get AI, and you're going to get robots that you can't fight with and you can't argue with, and there's no humanity left. Make no mistake, that is the actual official plan. All right? And China is a beta testing ground for a lot of this stuff, and they already have their AI prosecutor that can identify dissent and press charges for common crimes with 97% accuracy. So no. How about a big fat no on all of that? How about a big fat no ski and hutch? And while we were talking about brain chips, paralyzed man composes first ever tweet with his thoughts using brain implant. And I'm telling you right now, this technology to type things via your brain, we're talking, 50, 60 plus years old. Easy, but they're normalizing it. They're trying to make it fashionable. That's the truth of the matter. Okay? They're trying to normalize the idea that human brain interfaces are the future. That's it. Oh, that man, I have so many tabs open. I missed so many tabs today when I was trying to go through the rundown live. I got a lot of them. Love you, Jason. Thanks for always seeking the truth. Love you. Thank you. What is your take? Let's see. On the NYPD already patrolling the city in huge numbers to ensure they have that passport. Yeah, of course they have. Listen, that new mayor's awful. That new mayor's, that cop, he's terrible. He's like de Blasio, only worse. The mayor and the governor are some of the worst people that could possibly be in office and that are readily representing the quote-unquote Great Reset NWO, okay, predator class crowd for their quote-unquote smart cities. And New York State is doomed because of New York City, and I'm telling you, that new guy is awful. A lot of people thought it couldn't happen here, but people like yourself warned about it. I left. Yeah. Listen, you go back to March of 2020 when I broke down in tears because, and I'm not ashamed of it at all. A lot of people don't understand like what it would be like, especially to grow up in that state, to spend the vast majority of your life in that state, to have a large family, many of whom are still there, okay, and many, many friendships. I'm not saying I'm the most popular guy, but I got a lot of friends and a lot of people that mean a lot to me and a lot of people that were below that city line. And I thought that there was very much the possibility that they would cut New York right off. And you would have the authoritarian style lockdowns that we were seeing in China. And some of the things that were happening in China where you saw people in head to toe medical uniforms spraying streets, that was very frightening to me, and look, as it progressed, I talked about the slow rollout, how it was 9/11 meets the stock market crash, the depression, which it has become 100%. That's what it was. And that slow rollout has taken place. At first, I was hoping that, it wasn't going to get to vaccine passports. It wasn't going to get to past 6 months to a year, but they were announcing much more of it. And I said, no matter what happens, the rich are going to get richer and more powerful, and the poor are going to get weaker and less powerful. And it's exactly what happened. They will never hand count ballots because they know it was stolen. I mean, again, a problem I've been talking about for years, real accountability. Now, there's no reason for these machines. Okay? If you have a fourth grade education, we could use technology to empower humanity and have, live time ballot counting that would be totally accountable. That's not how we want to do. We want to do fractional, behind closed doors, and algorithms with routers. That's across the board. Let's see. Howdy. 145 watching, 51 thumbs up. I know, we don't even have 200 thumbs up. What's going on here? Can we get the thumbs up, guys? Let's see. Am an ET elite tourist. Thanks, Jason. Okay. What do we got here? Read the article. Unproven is used over and over. It's just what people want to hear. Face the fact. Trump. Whoa. Listen. I'm not a fan of Trump. I've not seen any evidence of what you wrote. I've watched the entire Katie Johnson interview, and I'm not convinced. No one's followed through who's made those accusations. Is it a possibility? Anything's possible. But you got to come with real facts, and I haven't seen that. I don't back off at anybody. Let's see. Headed to Rockfin. Thank you. It had to be a setup. The Feds saw their chance and they took it. Oh, that's a big old jumpski. That's what that is. Big old jumpski. Let's keep going. Boom, boom. We're going. Wow. There's a lot we're going. There we go. Let's see. Predators indeed. I guess if Trump keeps pushing, not going to say that word, maybe they will let him off from the insurrection. You know what? I think it's beyond that. I think they just say, look, man, we can just go after you for the rest of your life, and then we're going to go after your kids, and you're not going to be there to protect your kids forever. How much longer are you going to live? 10, 15 years? You know, a little more if you're lucky. We will get one of your kids. And I think there's that aspect of it. Other than that, I also think that his ego is huge, and there's no way that, you know, he wants to admit he got duped yet again by what he called the deep state. But really, you know, when we talk about that deep state, we're talking about a highly, highly concentrated few within the Defense Department and the military-industrial complex apparatus that have been planning transhumanism and bio-nanotechnology, right? The end of the IT era and into the IT bio-nano era of automating industry and agriculture, into the virtual and robotization of IT, bio, nano, and everything. That's it. There's a reason that it says 2020, guys. See? 2020. They did it. They started injecting people with bio nanotechnology on a mass scale. That's reality. Dennis Bushnell, still in charge of NASA. Still the lead scientist. Chief scientist over there. What up in Australia? Praying for you guys. Hope everyone had a happy holiday, by the way. I really, really do. I had a great holiday. Tell you what, almost hero level this year. Usually there's disappointment, there's crying, there's screaming, there's fighting. We didn't get any of that this year. We did the Switch lights for the family, and an Xbox, and I got to tell you, it's been nothing but smiles. Very few fights upstairs in the past few days. That's huge, with 2 girls now, 11 and 12. So it's been a blessing. I hope that you guys have had a blessed holiday season as well. All the people I personally know who went were ready to go from Trump's words, not some FBI con. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. You know, like, again, I was at the Ellipse. I was where the security was. By the time that the speeches were over, I was actually with Dylan Avery, and I wasn't even going to head to the Capitol until I got a call from Pat Miletich. And at the same time, Dylan was saying somebody had already been shot there, who ended up being Ashley Babbitt, by the way. So, again, I'm not sure where you're going with this. When I got up there, basically the Capitol had not been overtaken on the different levels, but was starting to be, and it seemed like almost a concert at most levels. I mean, again, go watch my footage. I ended up going on the Graham Elwood show, showing my footage and describing what had happened. I think I went on Chrissy Mayer. I went on right and left shows, right? The next day with Risk Flex. Dang, I'm working. You working, Scott? Aloha, brother. You got more game than the vast majority. Well, thank you. Yo, what is up? Mr. Telford, huh? How you doing, brother? I hope you had a happy holiday. It's okay, everyone. That's good. That's good. Can we get 200 thumbs up, guys, please? Thumbs it up. Don't you think something like Resident Evil could happen? Nope. DARPA is saying about a zombie apocalypse. That's a cover. I think something like that could happen. No. No. No, 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 no. No, no. No. If anything, technologically, now in that human brain interface document, they talk about using magnetic EEG waves through non-invasive process to control people. You might be able to drive certain sections into certain behaviors. And I think, what was it, the crazies? That maybe. But the zombie thing is Johnny nonsense. Trump and his fellow speakers tell the crowd to go to the Capitol. But no, it was the FBI. Come on, man. Hey, Bill, behind the Capitol, they had permits for speakers that had been there for months. They had a permitted section, Bill. A permitted section. He didn't tell people to go overtake. I mean, the guy, you got to love these trolls, man. They're in nowhere based in reality. And here's the next thing. And I don't know what it was like to go through security and get close. Like in the Ellipse, there was a huge break. Again, I got there pretty early, right? Like you can go watch my footage. And you had to dump your backpacks, like I said, all that. You couldn't hear anywhere. I didn't hear anything. I was there. I know where all Giuliani, I think, was speaking. And maybe Eric, I'm not sure. I couldn't really see much. It wasn't done very well. Now, a lot of people left early and went up there. So once again, he said that he would see people up there because there was an event that was sanctioned at a podium where it was permitted. I mean, you come on. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. Let's see. Hi, Jason from Southern Oregon. How you doing? My Christmas was great. Like I said, big wins, big W's. And, I also got to do the clothes things for two girls, and I'm not hip or cool, right? I'm not a cool uncle to them at all. I'm the opposite of cool. But at the same time, whether they like to admit it or not, I did all right on that. And then, they like games and artwork and crafts and stuff. So that's pretty easy. So you get that stuff. And I was a big win on the video game thing. So nothing but W's. Don't you think they reach immortality? I don't know, man. Not without losing their soul, if they have one left. I think that de-aging is a real thing. I think merging with machines on the level they want is not a good idea. Okay? At all. And I think that the big lie that they can create consciousness or transfer consciousness is also a dangerous one. It's a lot to think about. I don't know if I want to get into all of it on this AMA. Never let a good crisis, but if no crisis at hand, make it up. I knew something was planned. No shiz. They bought feds. They wanted an event to happen as a lead up to something greater they can use as a catalyst for taking away more liberties. I mean, again, there's no reason or was no reason at any point to have DC fenced in. We look like a third world dictatorship. It's scary. It's scary. Yo, Mama Cron. Let's see. I live in Alabama, and I hardly knew there was anything going on. You are lucky in Alabama. I'll tell you what. It's not a place I visited throughout this whole thing, but I've been to enough places where the madness is madness. Who is in the very top of the pyramid, in your opinion? Rothschilds, Goldsmiths, Blessings from Columbia. I think it's a consortium of families that, you talk about the Rothschilds, right? Obviously, they have a lot of things that you can publicly see in the arena of banking and geopolitics. And you can see also the Rockefellers doing the same thing through industry and NGOs, right? And then banking and geopolitics as well. And maybe the Rockefellers are the last modern family to really reach that generational level, right? You could talk about Prescott Bush and the dynasty he built with them, but those guys are almost just like mid-level players. I'd say the Rockefeller family gets into that arena. But then you have like generational players that the Saudi Arabian royal family aren't going anywhere, bro. The European royal families, the Netherlands, the UK, they haven't gone anywhere. And then you have to get into the arena of the people that you don't hear anything about, that just have had, again, this generational wealth. And we're talking now over a century, and their representatives. You also have people that can come up like a Bill Gates, right? They have some ties, but they're not like at that, like the Bush family, right? You can be a Gates. You can be a Ted Turner, right? You got to get into the NGO foundations and the Council on Foreign Relations and things like that and be pro-globalism, but you can get up there, right? You can be a Peter Thiel. You can get up there. You can be an Eric Schmidt. You can be a front man and, have some place in there. But as far as the tippity top, I have no idea. A lot of people would say that this thing is driven by forces of nature or good and evil, or if you believe in the Bible, right? And I'm not trying to downgrade anybody's religion. I like to have fun. But, heaven and hell, the devil and God, I don't know. I believe, bare minimum, that good and evil do exist, that our consciousness and humanity itself is something special, and that there is a consortium of people within the predator class that have utilized this very system of born classified compartmentalization that came up during really the Manhattan Project, right? Their secret societies, their little clubs, whether it be Skull and Bones, to the Bohemian Grove, to the Bilderberg Group, to their public face of Davos and the UN, right? All these things have their parts. That's how I look at it. I don't think there's one group at the top. If you read this, you should do DMT, LSD, and ayahuasca. It's life-changing. We're all the same consciousness, creating reality through our mind. The gateway process. So, there may be something to that. Go check out that CIA doc, The Gateway Process, that we talked about a couple weeks ago on Mixed Martial Mindset. Shout out to Sarah, by the way, Sarah Whalen, always a big supporter of the show. And sometimes she hits the PayPal, which is jasonisvoid@yahoo.com. That's another great way to support me. Although, again, the links are down below. The GoFundMe, the premium Rockfin account, sharing all this information. That's what's really important. Is the metaverse just the nerf introduction to transhumanism? Yes, it is. Aren't implants or actual symbiosis more likely? Yes, but you got to remember, man, from like 2005-06, when like a Razor cell phone was something special, to 2015, in just 10 years, it became something very different, right? And now that jack of all trades device has gotten to the level where, the next thing is here. And so augmented reality, VR, they want to get you accustomed to not having to travel, to be digitally hooked in, to having as much of your life in the public arena as possible, to get rid of the idea of privacy. And eventually the implants, let's just look at VR. Now, I've got a couple Quest 2s, right, that you see on, and get them at pawn shops now for like $130. And they don't need sensors. Before, I needed sensors in a room. I needed wires. This thing just has cameras on the front, motion. I can actually see through it with the tap of a button, where those cameras work, and it's almost like my real vision, only it's in like black and white still. But it's all going to get better. So I think that, that along with the FDA, Big Pharma, right, all getting involved, the National Institutes of Health with these human brain interfaces is going to go well beyond military. Can we get 250 thumbs up? Almost 300 people watching. Can we get them up? And again, guys, I want to encourage people to at least go make that free Rockfin account. Go follow me there. Subscribe here. But please, go make the free Rockfin account. They could take my channel at any moment. At any time, I'm gone. Please, go do it. Can we get to 45,000 followers over there on this video? Can we do it? I'd love to be able to do it. We're only 330 away. All right, let's keep going down the line here. Great work, JB, Jan 6 with a PSYOP, and too easy to pull off because the overwhelming majority of voters are willfully ignorant. Could have just as easily happened if Trump would have won. Oisio Brigadiers. Let's see. We got some duck shitting emojis. Duck farts. In the universe, everybody's high as F. Bowels. I was planning to drive on this to the 6th. I talked about it with context here on YouTube. The last minute we were told, stand down, it's a trap. My people were correct. There is evidence from Instagram. Jason, what are your thoughts on the Maxwell trial? We already went over them, Swayze. They're not good. They're not good. Rewind, my friend. Let's see. We need some real news. I try to give it to you. Snow is falling. Yeah, we got like a couple inches. I had to get out there. Oh, and like that, Epps is no longer the top story at the Daily Mail. I'm glad that we did it while we did. What high-level sports figure will collapse with heart problems while performing their sport next? NHL, MMA, NFL, etc. I'll bet you're not going to see MMA. I doubt a lot of people, I'm not even going to say it, in that community, I don't want to speculate. I want to be taken off the tube. What if we get enough people together and just started a new town in a remote location built from the ground up? You can do that anywhere right now. Right? And the bottom line is that's what you got to do. You got to reach out to your neighbors, your friends, your family, no matter what, and explain to them that it's not a right or left issue and that this is not about what you're being told. A lot of people think she will walk. She may walk. NYPD is kicking a kid out of Applebee's. You were right about the police. Yep. Told you that. The cabal has an unnatural capacity to look into the future and the human response to certain events. They're wizards created models long ago. Money's on NBA. Do you think Epstein and Maxwell have a secret child somewhere out there? A victim said she saw a picture of Maxwell pregnant. Anything is possible. I have seen that. I don't want to speculate. Don't come to Scotland. It's run by left-wing crazy Fruit Loops who love canceling everything. And Maxwell's going to walk. Craziness, indeed. Everyone needs to go. Listen to some William Cooper broadcasts from the 90s. You'll understand everything clear. Always press like when you ask politely. Thank you. Come on, man. Police are elite shampoo used on the police people. Disgusting. Let's see. You realize you live beneath the genocidal contempt of a ruling you-know-what elite. How can society accept this moving forward like we need to dig deep, take a long way home to fix this one, and lose all this BS? I totally agree there. It's not about science. It's about the story. Science is small. Story is big. What do you think Biden is going to do to Assange? Biden's not doing anything to anybody. Biden's trying not to shit himself on a daily basis. That's about it. All right? I mean, that Let's Go Brandon thing. I mean, how unbelievable is that? The guy gets on there, says Let's Go Brandon, and then he repeats it. And then he goes on Jimmy Fallon and acknowledges the fact that he's like the most unpopular dude ever. We're in wild time. He decides nothing. I think that they're going after free speech. They're going after anybody that exposes their crimes. They're going for the full techno-fascist takeover now. How do we get Wexner in the sights? Good luck. Keep exposing what he's been involved in and how he's been exonerated. He and Dershowitz, buddy. Another failure of Trump. Having Dershowitz on your legal team for the fake second impeachment. Right? Anybody could have won that case. And you chose the Dersh? Come on, man. Indeed. Wexner sent me a text. It said, trust the PSYOP. Clint Stone's world figured out who a scaffold commander is. Only person I've seen talking about him. I don't know what anyone that means. Funny no one ever talks about Weinstein and Ron Jeremy in the same sting, plus 3 others. I didn't realize they were in the same sting. I know about Ron Jeremy. I mean, Ron Jeremy, I met Ron once. I even took a picture with him. Obviously, it was actually at the 9/11 thing that Charlie Sheen put on. And, the allegations about Sheen and Corey Haim are out there. So, wow, right? But yeah, the things that he got convicted of were crazy. Just the opposite to health. Burmis OG, what is up? What's up? Maxwell going to walk. Her lawyer dropped the big hint. If she goes down, she will name names. I doubt it. I mean, listen, that was a show trial if there were ever any show trials, right? Have you ever seen the Hostel movie? Yes. Where not known billionaires torture and pay for it. Don't you think Billy's? I'm not accusing anybody of anything. We go with facts here. How do we get Burmis on Rogan, Pool, and high exposure shows? Well, thank you, Keyford. You just ask him. Who knows? Maybe we'll get there one day. Maybe we'll reach that rainbow, that mountaintop. Ah, yeah, the Hostel movie. Jason. Done in my Mike Myers mother's voice. Oh, boy. When I see the Biodigital Convergence webpage here in Canada, I find it so unnerving. Let's get to 250 likes, but I think that's going to be it. Guys, I love you. I want to thank you for joining me. The links are down below that you can support the broadcast. Hopefully we'll be here tomorrow on YouTube. You never know. That's why you got to Rockfin. Go at least make the free account. $9.99 a month gets you everybody's premium stuff. And, you know, they got some big names over there these days doing exclusive stuff. Michael Tracy, Blumenthal's over there doing exclusive stuff. Jimmy Dore, killing it over there. Of course, T-Lav, Whitney Webb, Slow News Day. I'll be on Slow News Day on Thursday. So a lot of things great over there. Action for Assange and much, much more. Make at least the free account. The paid one, you get everybody's stuff. I love you guys. It's not about left or right. It's always about right and wrong. And props to the Daily Mail for shining light on this story.